Obviously, big challenge going on the road. Tiger Stadium is always a tough place to play. They got a great crowd, talented football team across the board at every position. So, but yeah, be a big challenge for us this week. Injury-wise, we should get some guys back, which is a good thing. Probably the big ones: Kair, Richard Garage. I don't know who else I'm missing. I'll you guys ask me because I'm probably missing people, but I don't meet with our trainers for another hour just to see how today went. But I'll let you know. What do you got?
Edgar, you want to start us off?
Tell you sprinted up to the podium. Then he caught me off guard.
Me? I'll be honest with you. It is. We certainly paid our air conditioning bill. So if you see me like a little like shake every once in a while, it's like, or my breath. It's a little chilly in here today.
Yeah, they keep it like an ice box. So Dan, David Turner had one of the funnier lines of the year this summer. He said that all American males think they can do two things: grill and coach football. And I think Emory, I was joking with Mark, has been the main course some weeks. And what I would like for you to do, please, is can you break down Emory's game? I mean, like his strengths, what he needs to work on. I mean, you're the quarterback guru. You know what you were looking for and what he's doing you like and what you'd like to see him improve.
Well, I think with a lot of things, I think the biggest improvement he's made is his comfort within his decision-making on game day of distributing the ball. Of where he needs to get to, being comfortable in the pocket, making the reads, and the speed of which he makes the reads. I think it's a big result of that is his preparation. I think I've really seen him take his preparation to a different level from the beginning of the season within the game week. I do this by saying you go through spring practice and you go through fall camp and you play against our defense. And you kind of see a lot of similar looks, and we're kind of installing and running the same stuff. And you get comfortable with things. Well, when you get into a game week, then that's when all the variations come in. And so I think, all of a sudden early in the season, he thought I was comfortable, I'm ready to go play the game. And he maybe wasn't as comfortable within the variations that are going to affect the game of how our offense is going to play against this defense in the first week or two. And so I think he's really changed that approach, and you've seen that pay dividends on the field.
Well, one criticism is he's kind of late on throws. Is that fair, or is that just the learning curve a guy's going to have?
Yeah, some he's early, some he's late. Some he's on time. But a lot of that's the processing, all the processing that goes into it, of all the things that you're asked to do, I'm up there. Are we in the formation? Is everybody set? Where's the play clock? What's the protection? Is the protection checked? Do I have the protection handled? Who am I hot off of? Do I have to make a check? Is there a check involved in the play to alert somebody? Okay, what's the pre-snap coverage read? What's the post-snap coverage read? Okay, here's how they played it. This is where I'm reading the ball to. Now I got to get that's covered. I get to my second progression, get to my third progression, got to get the ball out. There's a lot that goes into it. And so, obviously the more you do it, the better you get at it, through the years.
Thank you, Dan.
You're welcome.
Zach, Hubert?
Hey, how do you prepare for Death Valley after 8 ball starts versus Kentucky at Kroger Field?
Yeah, same way. We just got to be mentally focused, and get in there. And, it was a loud environment up there at Kentucky. And, I always know Death Valley is going to be a loud place. Anytime you go there, it's a wild, crazy environment. So just similar way. We just got to be mentally focused on it.
Thomas Goldkamp?
Yeah, Dan, you're talking about all the stuff that Emory has to do, the processing speed, pre-coverage read, post-snap, all that. Are those the kind of things that when Anthony Richardson's in there in the fourth quarter, you're able to kind of evaluate and coach him off film?
Yeah, I think, and Anthony, in a very similar way, we're on him and his development, and you just see it. You see things change, from the going and getting comfortable, all through a training camp, then applying it to a specific game plan, and then the change of speed from practice to games that occurs. You see that with his growth and development. So, it was good. I mean, we went back and got him in. He got a couple series in the first half. Got a couple series in the second half. So it's all stuff that he's going to continue to grow and build off of.
And then I guess where is his, comfort level with kind of learning those things versus maybe having a bigger workload?
Yeah, I think he's getting there. I think he's doing a good job developing, within his game and within what he does and what we ask him to do. And so it is. It's a process. I mean, it's not a short-term process. You're talking about years and years and years and years. Tom Brady probably has it down pretty good now. Some of those guys. But I mean, you think that the number of reps you need and getting comfortable within doing all of that stuff, it's not like it's like, that's something, all of the stuff that goes into playing quarterback is not something that just is that you just teach, in a day or two. It's something that takes a long time to learn.
Baker?
Hey, Dan, I'll ask one of the injury ones. Malik Davis, his status?
Yeah, he should be back this week. I haven't gotten the report yet, but he was on the report, expected to be back to practice this week.
Okay. And then LSU's quarterback, Max Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
What were kind of your impressions of him last year when he played you all, and what have you seen on film from him at this point?
He's got a lot of gamemanship. In what he does, he'll stand in the pocket and deliver balls. I think he's an accurate passer. Has a strong arm, can make the throws all over the field. Has the size in the pocket to be able to stand in there and see over and make the throws. But to me, I think he also kind of has that moxie. He makes plays. He scrambles around. He extends plays. He kind of has a great feel for that stuff. You look at him and so, you're probably not saying, okay, wow, this guy's this scrambling, dynamic, running quarterback. Then you watch him move, and not many people catch him. He's hard to get your hands on. So, I think it's his ability that he does a great job making plays within the system. With what they do and his decision-making and his accuracy throwing the ball. And then all of a sudden you think, we got him, and he improvises and runs around and makes a play, and that's some of the things that make him a really good player.
Declan?
Hey, Coach. So you spoke, I guess, after the Kentucky game and said that you're going to speak with Hevesy about maybe changing up some of the cadences.
Mm-hmm.
Working the false starts. Can you talk about, I know it wasn't a hostile environment, but if any of that got implemented against Vanderbilt and what those conversations have been like?
Yeah. Well, it'll be a little bit more. The conversation applies more to this week being on the road again than at home. It's always a little different that way. So, but we've had a talk and we have a plan together.
Cassidy?
Hey, Dan, two quick ones. First, I know you talked Saturday about Trent Whittemore kind of was just productive because of when he was rotated in, but when he does get in, he seems to have almost, I don't want to go too far, but almost that Kyle Pitts ability to body up a guy, especially in the end zone. What does he bring, and how can you sort of start to use him more and more, just especially in those short yardage situations?
Yeah, I think he has great hands, and he has good size, and he has really good body control of how to use his body and catches the ball really well with his hands. So I think he's a bigger guy, over 6'2", to 6'3", with his arms, and he does have great ball skills of how he catches the ball with his hands. So, his ability to kind of shield people off and catch the ball, extend the hands and catch it as a far point away from the body, is something that allows him, to use to his strengths. And I think he's a guy that understands his strengths, and he really is a smart football player that plays well to those.
And then report yesterday that Elijah Blades was no longer with the team.
Yes.
I was just wondering if you could speak to when you found out about that, what went into it.
Yeah, we dismissed him from our program, and so he was dismissed from the program, so he's no longer part of the team.
So it was a team decision.
Yeah, I met with him and dismissed him from the program yesterday.
Okay, thank you.
Mark Long?
Dan, Did you feel like you caught a break noon at LSU in terms of not having to sit around the hotel all day and getting guys out there right away in the morning?
Well, we got to wake up early. It's 11 actually, their time. So I don't know. As I love waking up and going to play, right? But we'll see. If you never know how that plays out. You got to wake up. You got to get up. I love waking up and going and play, getting the game, and getting home. And not have to sit at a hotel all day waiting to go play a game. So I don't know. I guess if we win, maybe we can say we caught a break, and if we didn't, then boy, I wish we would have played later. So.
And then on the snap count, I get the reason to be a little coy here, but what are your options in terms of changing that up?
There's tons.
After Kentucky, you do the quarterback leg raise, you do the guard looking back.
Boy, there's so many things you can do. I'm not going to get into what we're going to do, but we've been coaching a long time. I can go all the way back 2005. They implemented different rules into snap counts that we had that happened back if you remember back to, I want to say the 2005 season. I think, or is maybe that or 2007, maybe it was. We did snap count things, and they changed the rule book because of it. So there's a lot of different variations we have.
But is it safe to say this clap count won't be there Saturday, or is that not?
No, that'll be there too. I'm not going to get into what we're going to do specifically, but we discuss it. We'll have some things. There's a lot of there's tons of things you can do. We get under center, use a verbal count. I go back all the way. I mean, heck, we played at BYU when I was at Utah. We played at Texas A&M on the road and BYU, and all we used was the quarterback's voice count. So. There's a lot of things you can do. Just we got to do what works best for our guys and make sure all of them can function and be efficient.
Josh?
Hey, Dan, you talked about intensity after the Vanderbilt game.
Mm-hmm.
Was that the one time you really saw an intensity problem? And do you think other times the lack of intensity has maybe caused to play towards your opponent's competition?
No, I think a couple things. I think it stood out. It was very easily definable in the Vanderbilt game. Okay, so if you go take the first 2 offensive drives of the first half and the first 3 offensive drives of the second half, and if you take the first 3 defensive drives of the first half, so the first 5 drives of the game total, 3 for them, 2 for us. Okay, then you go to the second half and you take the first 6 drives, 3 for them, 3 for us, and 3 for them. And go. Because I had it all written downstairs. I don't have it with me. But you guys just go look at the stats of those drives and the outcome of those drives. The outcome of those drives is 35-0 in probably just over a quarter of play. Okay? We talk about it. Now, I don't want to downplay. Obviously, Vanderbilt made some plays, did some different things, made some adjustments. They did things as well. But we need to play with the intensity and the efficiency that we played with at both of those periods for 4 quarters. Because go look at the first 5 drives of the game and then look at the next 5 drives of the game. And then go look at the first 6 drives of the second half and then the next 6 drives of the second half. And you see these kind of – I explain to the team. Obviously in a game, the momentum, you're going to have some of these things right here, right? Where they're doing well, doing not as good, and it goes like that. We seemed, that was a time when we were this way. It was that. If you go look statistically at that part of it. So it's a great point for me to be able to make because there was such a drastic change at different aspects of the game to point out.
How hard is it to find that identity to keep that same? Obviously you want to succeed and keep that intensity.
You like it at that level. That's probably unrealistic for that period of a game with young kids, and these guys are all still younger kids, and just for everybody. That's you're out there for 3.5 hours, of that. And I just getting on our guys of keeping that focus. And that, it's certainly not an attitude issue. It's not like, hey, we really care now and then we really don't care now. It is the intensity that you need to follow to be successful, and that's hard to maintain for 3.5 hours. And how are we going to continue to improve it to play at a higher level and consistently play at that point on every snap of the game?
Thanks, Dan.
Nick Del Torre. Hey, Coach. How do you find an Australian punter?
They have a great kicking academy in Australia that they have, and they kind of recruit guys there. And you kind of call down there. They send up all the film, and you evaluate the guys. And I didn't actually go to Australia. I had it set on a recruiting trip to try to go, and it didn't work out for me to make it there. So we watched all the film, and we ended up with Jeremy Crawshaw.
I think you'd blow the whole recruiting budget if you went to Australia to go recruiting.
I'll tell you what, though, it is because, right, it's a tricky little deal to get there, like of when you leave, when you get back, because of how much long it takes to go, like the time frame. But I think when we did draw it out, we were looking at it. I would have been on a plane for 48 hours and on the ground for 6. So.
And then off of your travels, Brenton Cox, you talked about injuries. You said that he almost didn't go last week. Will he be able to play this week?
Yeah, he was. He was good. He was banged up during the week. I thought, I was concerned about him being able to play as the week went on, and he did a good job at the back end of the week. Played the first half of the game, and I thought did a great job. And we came out of the second half, said we're going to try not to play you in the second half, and I think the fact that we were able to kind of score points quick, we didn't play him in the second half, so he should be fine. He should be good to go.
Thanks, Coach.
Dan, can I follow up on the punter?
Yeah.
So, have you done that before? Have you hit that academy, or is this something new?
No, that was our first one.
Okay, what made you decide to go? I mean, like, obviously these guys have been phenomenal all around the country. Is that what you just saw?
Hey, I'm watching these guys, and there's great punters, and they're like, hey, they go to this academy, they go to this, this kicking school there. Let's call down there, and and go. Let's evaluate and find the guys, and he was a great fit for us, personality-wise too.
What are the challenges of getting somebody half a world away?
You don't get to, you're not getting to see them live and in person. You're recruiting them off a tape, and you're trying to how is the tape going at the right speed? How high was it kicked? What's the hang time? What's the distance? Is there anything I'm not, like the tape's hiding? Talent-wise, Jeremy and his family came out here for the official visit, so you got to spend time with them, but he was already committed to us pretty much when he did that. Is he going to be able to fit in? The NCAA requirements and student visa deals. He can't even get an Outback Steakhouse name, image, and likeness deal because he's on a student visa, unfortunately. So. There's all kinds of challenges that go into it.
Did you see his 40 time on tape, or was that a surprise?
Oh no! I mean, we actually practice that stuff before doing a game, so I've seen him run. I mean, I see him in the off season do off season training conditioning, so I know he's a phenomenal athlete. I know that. I didn't know that when we recruited him as much, but once he's been here for a while, so I know his athleticism.
Nick will go to Australia for you to recruit punters, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'll move. All right, Edgar?
Good golf courses, you missed out.
Oh. I would have had to stay on the ground 12 hours then to get around it.
You remember Darren Bennett? The San Diego punter, he was the first one.
Really?
Yeah, back in the 90s. Anyway, I thought maybe you knew him. He was a 300-goal scorer in the league you used to love that no one understands how to play, but in America. Exactly. I sent a YouTube to that. Mark never seen it before. So, Dan, couple LSU ones real quick, please. So this has been like a one-possession game, 6 out of 7, and the one that won was that great game in 19 there. And then you were involved in some epics. I mean, 07, the jump pass game. I know you don't you like switching it up, but how good is this rivalry?
I think it's, when you look at it, obviously I think it's a great rivalry. And, things that go into them. One, we play every year. Two, it's two great programs that, have won, as you go back to all those dates, we've each won 2 national championships in that time frame, if I'm right on that. Mm-hmm. And you look at all the games coming right down to the wire, and not all of them, but a lot of them coming right down to the wire and being these tough battles. I think that's what makes it a great rivalry game. It makes it must-see TV, to go watch. Great players, great teams, and that are championship-level teams that go in and play a game that comes right down to the wire. It makes it a great rivalry.
Do you think that Ed O or Coach O is a classic kind of what have you done for me lately scenario? Because he's taken a ton of heat. That's the coaching profession, but in his case.
Well, yeah, it's a weekly deal as coaches right now, right? I think we get to learn that. I know I've known Ed for a long time. I like Ed. I think a great coach. Obviously, won a national championship just a couple years ago there, and he hadn't forgotten how to coach in that time frame. So I think, I just think in today's world with coaching, a lot of times, it's a week to week. Your rating as a coach is week to week. If not play by play on Saturdays, and then and then after Saturday it's week by week, and that's not him. That's all of us. You know what I mean? You go to anybody in the SEC, and they'll tell you it's pretty much right. You're either really smart or really dumb, and there's nowhere in between, and it's a week to week deal.
Play by play. That was funny. Thank you, Dan.
Yep.
All right, we'll close with Thomas Falcon.
Yeah, I wanted to go back to Jeremy Crawshaw for a second. Did he get stuck in the U.S. or in Australia at one point due to COVID international travel things?
There was one deal with him. I'll let him get into it. I don't remember the details. I'll let you guys grind on him about it.
Okay, all good.
There was nothing that really affected him within the program, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? It wasn't anything that had a football effect for him.
Appreciate it.
All right. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, guys. Have a great day.